Today, I want to answer the question, can balloon payment be used in land contracts? When you think of a land contract, most people associate balloon payments within that land contract. But what exactly does that mean? Well, stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how balloon payments can be integrated into land contracts. This will empower you to make informed decisions and accelerate the income you can potentially make utilizing land contracts in your real estate investing. Have you ever thought about owning a property but not needing to go through traditional bank and financing? Have you ever wondered about incorporating a balloon payment, how that could help a transaction go quicker than normal? Well, stick around as I dive into this topic by first explaining what a land contract is and also explaining what is a balloon payment. Secondly, I'll explain how a balloon payment typically works when it comes to a land contract. And finally, I'm going to explain to you a strategy that I'm utilizing that took the concept of a land contract, but also incorporated a balloon payment in it. If you're ready, let's go. So what is a land contract and how does it differ from traditional financing? A land contract is a seller finance agreement that has been negotiated between a buyer and seller without the bank being involved. And this negotiation completely varies between what the buyer and the seller want to do or what they come up with. In contrast, a mortgage is a very structured way, 30 years, payment every single month, and they also come with fairly predictable interest rates depending on the market and the economy, while a land contract can be negotiated at the discretion of the buyer and seller, including the interest rate. In addition, with a traditional land contract, the seller is going to retain title of the land contract, while the buyer has equitable title, but they do not receive the deed until that land contract is paid in full. The other interesting thing about a land contract is the seller can actually have an existing mortgage and still do a land contract, but they do what's called a wraparound mortgage, where they receive the money from the buyer and they take that payment that they get every single month, they pay their mortgage and pocket what is left over. So what is a balloon payment and what role does it have when it comes to land contracts? Well, number one, a balloon payment is a final payment that is due at a certain time in the future. So it starts out as just a traditional payment, right? Payments every single month. And then eventually it balloons up to the big payment to pay off the final amount. And that balloon payment is typically the principal balance of what is left on the loan. So here's how a balloon payment works in a land contract. First off, obviously you have the agreement. And the agreement is something that is really important. And because land contracts vary in state, even counties, some municipalities, I would highly recommend, and I always do recommend, getting a real estate attorney to look it over. Because a land contract absolutely benefits the seller. And if you are a buyer utilizing a land contract and it's not specified, and you miss some payments or default on the land contract, the seller can evict you from the property and keep all of the money that you've paid up to that point in your series of payments. But the agreement details all that out, and it's good to have an attorney's eyes on that. The second thing is there's going to be installment payments. These are the monthly payments made every single month. Now, the interest rate that is agreed upon, typically a lot of times is going to be a little bit higher in a land contract because the land contract, the seller's taking the risk of somebody who cannot get a traditional mortgage, so they're typically going to charge a higher interest rate for that. And then at the end, at some point, there's going to be what's called the balloon payment. That balloon payment is the period at the end of the loan. That might be 5 years from now. It could be many years past that. But once you make installment payments, the whole goal behind a land contract, if you're the buyer, is to eventually pay that off in a balloon payment because you're paying a higher interest rate in a seller financing contract, and you can get a much lower interest rate with a traditional bank loan. So the goal is for you to be able to build up enough credit or money to go to a bank and say, listen, help me finance out of this land contract. And then at that point, the seller gets that balloon payment, the rest of the amount owed on the home in one lump sum, and then you become beholden to the bank. Now, if you understand how this works with land contracts, let me explain to you a strategy where land contracts are typically used in something called a slow flip. Now, you've obviously heard of flipping real estate. A slow flip is similar, but it's done over a longer period of time. And this is how it works, and it utilizes land contracts, even balloon payments. So essentially, you're looking for property at a very discounted rate. And right now, I'm looking at properties in the Midwest that I can find below $100,000. So whatever it's listed at, I'm trying to get that property below 30-40% of market value. So if there's a home at $70,000, I can get it for $50,000. That's a good deal. Now, obviously, because I'm making low offers, I might get 1 out of 10 that's accepted. So understand that going into it. But once I have that home, I'm going to turn around and sell it utilizing a land contract, right? I'm using private money to buy this home outright. So I'm paying cash and I'm closing quickly. So the incentive for the seller selling it to me is that I'm paying cash and I'm closing quickly. So they're willing to take a lower price. Once I have that home at a lower price, I have it secured, my private money lender is charging me a little bit higher interest rate, but I'm trying to get it between 8 to 10% so it's not too outrageous. And there are lenders out there that will do that. Once I have that, I want to finance this to my private money lender as if it were a car loan. So I want to have this paid off to him within 5, 6, or 7 years. Now I turn around and sell this home at the higher price, say what it was marketed for or listed for originally, $70,000, and I'm entering into a land contract. And I'm charging a higher interest rate to this buyer because they can't get traditional financing. I might not even charge them a down payment. They just need to start making monthly payments to me. But I want their payment to me to be higher than the amount I'm paying out to the private money lender. So in doing so, I need to charge a higher interest rate because I am financing this to them at, say, a 20, 25, or 30-year amortized loan. And so let's say that what they're paying me is $950 and the loan amount to them might be $900. There is not much margin on a slow flip, but this is where it gets exciting. If you're able to do 10, 20, 30 of these, and you're not making much money initially, but imagine what happens 5, 6, or 7 years down the road when all of these are paid off to the private money lender. You now have this $950, $1,000 coming in every single month for the term of the loan. And if you had 10 of those, 20 of those, 30 of those, you're talking about cash flow coming in every single month between $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. That's the power of slow flips. And if they pay it off early with a balloon payment, you get all that money up front and you can pay off your private money lender and you're usually getting a large lump sum. So slow flips can be absolutely amazing when it comes to that. But if you really want to understand a strategy that's similar to slow flips, but it has an element of cash flow every single month, it is an absolute game changer that you can do in any market, in any condition. And it is something that I really believe can help people build tremendous wealth in real estate. It is called cash flow flipping. And I've created a video right here that goes into full detail about how I came up with this strategy and how it's done, that you can start doing it right away just by watching the video. So just click on the link. Thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.